Okay, see, we got our new game shipment in today. We got a few things that we've been expecting or waiting for a while. We've been Saboteur is definitely one of them. People have been asking about this game for a while. Originally it was carried by Z-Man Games, but they dropped it. So if you've been looking for it with no success being able to find it, that's probably why. It's because it's now carried by Mayfair. Saboteur is a really great game, especially for what you're for this small little box that you're getting. Basically, it's a cooperative type game where you're trying to. I don't know if it has good pictures on the back. Well, not really. Basically, you have this like a lineup of cards, and you're trying to dig from one side to the other as dwarves to get to the gold mine, find where the gold's hidden, and get to it. But it's a cooperative game, so you're working together. But some of the players might be betrayers. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to keep everybody from getting to the actual gold in the right mine. And so they can keep them from themselves and split amongst the other traders if there are any. But yeah, it's a great little game. And it also came the sequel, the Saboteur 2, right there. Basically adds a few more roles and other things. So we also got Survive Space Attack, some expansions. Got the 5 to 6 player expansion. Okay. And basically, this Survive Space Attack is the sequel, not a sequel, but a spin-off to the original Survive game. The original Survive game, basically you're on a sinking island trying to keep your people, get your people to safety for other people's sharks on them and such. But this one is the space version. And what all the reviews I've been seeing, people are saying basically it's a lot more gamery. Like the gamer will like this a little bit more, even though I love the Survive one myself, the original. But the actually the 5 to 6 player expansion works really well on the original one, so I'm imagining it'll work just as well on this new sequel. And here we go. Do the spinny Batman thing. Can't really do it very well. But yeah, it's Rory's Story Cubes Batman, because Batman's apparently the new Cthulhu. So, for ages, everybody's like, all these different games were mixing Cthulhu into every little game because it became public domain. Obviously, Batman isn't, but you're finding a lot of games are throwing Batman in it, and I guess everything with Batman in it is better. Basically, Rory Story Cubes, I really hate to say when people say it's not a game, it's an activity. But Rory Story Cubes kind of is, unless you throw in some house rules about judging the best story. Basically, you roll the dice and you make a story about what comes up. So, I don't know. We'll say a Joker went to Gotham City and they start chasing this guy down the street in a hot air balloon. And Batman came and found out in his Batcave, and they got into a big old fight. And they went to the factory for some reason, and he caught the Joker, and he tied him up and left him for the cops. So that's basically how you do Rory Story Cubes. It's the Batman version, and Batman's always awesome. Even people like Marvel, they'll say they'll love Batman anyway. Let's see. We got all those. And what else we got in here? We got Spectre Ops. Spectre Ops is a great. Basically, it's a hidden movement type games. It's you probably watched some review. There's a video called Watch It Played. This one guy does a really great overview on how it's played, and he's a lot more articulate than I am. I can tell you that. But yeah, it's a really good one, so you want to check that one out. It's basically you're running around trying to accomplish a certain mission without being spotted by the other players. There's like hidden movements and rules for when you're last seen. Put a little icon, so you're trying to track down the other player. Kind of like one player's kind of the ninja, and the other people are like the other ones trying to hunt them down type of thing. And let's see what else did we get in today. Got Ticket to Ride Europe. For those only heard of the original Ticket to Ride, there's like several different versions. There's Ticket to Ride Europe. There's the original one. There's the Netherlands, and there's the Markland version. The Markland one's my personal favorite, basically because it gets rid of the longest route and introduces passengers. And passengers basically makes getting the longest route feel more strategic in the way you have to do it, because you have to run around from track to track and pick up points. So it's a really different way to do it. Each one is a different feel. The Netherlands ones, or Nordic countries, sorry, this Nordic countries, that one on the left. That one's actually a 2 or 3 player game. The other versions, Ticket to Ride, don't always lend itself well as a 2-player game. So if you love Ticket to Ride and you want a little more competitive type of game, the Nordic countries is a real good one to go with. And there's a bunch of little maps you could get as well, and expansions and that sort of thing. So, zoom back out. But also the Europe version has like what we call train stations. Basically, if you played the original one and you get blocked from getting a route, what you do, you can play the train stations for points. They cost points to put them down, or your score points. And basically, you are able to complete your route. So you kind of have to judge if it's worth doing that or not. If it's a low-scoring route you're going to complete, probably not. But if it's a higher scoring one, you probably definitely want to. But it gives you a little more options in case you get cut off. So it's kind of a nice thing for that. And we're starting to get in Werewolf back in. We just got the Daybreak one. We got the original One Night Werewolf coming in as well. For those, what kind of games are these? These are mostly board games, card games. We're a board game store mostly. See, Werewolf is like a kind of a social deduction type game. The One Night Werewolf basically is like, there's no player elimination. The original Werewolf one, basically you're one or two people, or a couple people are the werewolves, and you try to figure out who it is. The werewolves in the original one, they'll pick someone out when everybody else's eyes are closed, and they're basically kill them doing the werewolf thing. And everybody tries to figure out in the Salem witch trial style, trying to figure out who it is, and class blame and all sorts of stuff. But in that one, there's a player elimination. In the One Night Werewolf, it plays really, really quick, and there's no player elimination, but there's a lot more roles to go over. They have an app for this that goes over, and but it's a lot easier to get into with the app, because they kind of narrate everything, which gets kind of complicated. And let's see, what else do we got? We got some Magic the Gathering type stuff. We got the gift box in, and if I'm hearing right, there's a bit of, I don't want to call it controversy, but confusion, or whatever you want to call it. But basically, these full-colored lands are super, super popular, and everybody's like looking for them. But from what I keep hearing, if I could be wrong, so anyone want to double check me on this, that this one is the full-color lands are not actually in this box. Like I said, just check again, and you know, because I just one when I heard just recently. So a lot of people are confused and kind of disappointed that they're not in there. So just to let you know, the full lands are not likely going to be in there, even though they show them on the back of the box. So let's see, and we've got Flick 'em Up expansion, the Stallion Canyon expansion. Flick 'em Up is a pretty new game. We're actually out of the main game. It's been out everywhere for a good while. Basically, it's a flicking game with cowboys. Got these little buildings, and you're trying to shoot each other. There's different ways to do it. Basically, you're flicking discs, hit each other or to move, and different things like that. But this is expansion, so if you already have the original game, it might be something to jazz things up a bit. Let's see, and we got a third Magic gift box. And what else do we got? We got Doodle Quest. I haven't really looked into this that much yet, but we had a lot of interest in it, so we went and picked it up. Basically, it's a kids type game. Looks like it's a drawing type of game. But like I said, I haven't played it, but I know it's people have been asking about it, so we got that one in. So we actually got a good selection of kids type games in the store. Haba is like a really good line of games to look at. Like Here's My Fish, and I think one of their more popular ones is Orchard. And actually, Ravensburger actually is a good one as well. So we got quite a few kids games that if Christmas coming, I always like to tell people it's good to get the kids a board game or card game before they discover the iPad, because you'll probably be losing them in that. We also got the Commander decks just in today as well, and looks like we got got 2 boxes of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 10 of the Commander decks. And let's see. Then we also got Pandemic on the Brink expansion back in. Basically, it introduces a bioterrorist. So it's like players are one of the players is going to be a betrayer, and they're kind of doing the different things. So it's like one player against the rest. So the bioterrorist is off doing evil things, so which actually, strength changes things up quite a bit. And so we also got Star Wars, Force and Destiny, the Chronicles of the Gatekeeper. We got a bunch of the starter boxes. Got the Force of Destiny, Age of Rebellion, Edge of the Empire. And so we're actually expanding on our Star Wars role-playing games. We've got a few other role-playing games in here as well. Obviously, some Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons. We also got the Pathfinder Pawns. The Pawns are really great because you get a whole bunch of monsters, so you don't have to necessarily buy like a bunch of minis and paint them for each one, but it's like a kind of nice way to get them done. Have some monsters when you need them, and inexpensively. So it's a good way to go for any role player. I know a lot of people like the minis. It's a whole hobby itself, painting them. But that's kind of a good way to get things done if you don't have that luxury of time and painting. And that looks about it. We got the new GTM magazine back in. And looks like that's about it today. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.